Welcome to Spider-Verse Minute, the tri-weekly podcast where we watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 1 minute at a time. I'm Caroline Slater.
And I'm her brother Sean.
And today we are discussing Minute 106. It begins with Miles falling into the city, and ends a minute later with the credits.
What did you title this minute?
I titled this minute, The Beginning of the End.
This is the last minute that we have any story-related stuff outside of an end credit scene that we'll get to the very last minute, I think.
Yeah, I think it's like the very, very end.
Yeah, but yeah, this is just the end of Miles telling his Spider-Man intro story.
And let me tell you, what a way to end it, because the transitions in this minute are some of my favorite. Like, they're so seamless, so good, they're beautiful.
Yeah, I love, especially the transition of him just falling, and then falling into the, into his bed, and just landing softly on his bed.
Yeah.
And I love how the way this movie goes is it starts with him in his bedroom by himself, and ends with him in his bedroom by himself.
Both listening to Sunflower, if you noticed.
Yeah.
Loved that.
I did like, though, that it started in Brooklyn, in his home in Brooklyn, and ended at Visions. And so it was like, it started in his old life and then ended in his new life. So, so much changed, but so much stayed the same.
Yeah, and I just want to talk about one of my favorite transitions in this, and it's the very beginning of when he jumps up in the air, spins around, it goes from day into night, and then that's when he starts falling from sitting into bed.
Yeah, I like rotating transitions like that. They do it a bit later in the credits too.
They do it a lot in the credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those kinds of transitions.
And as he's laying in bed, we get a portal with a mysterious woman's voice, which is totally Gwen.
What a shock.
Yeah. And I love her just like, you got a minute? Like, don't mind me.
Yeah. What I love first about that is that we actually just see the glow on his face first. We're like, what? What's happening? And then we see the portal coming in.
Yeah.
So I like that little moment too of like just glow. Oh, there's a portal around us.
And in worse movies, it would totally be he gets sucked into the portal, or it's
totally
Doc Ock in the portal and grabs him. But I like how it's just like, oh hey, do you want to hang out? Like, there's a cool movie coming out.
You got a minute?
Yeah.
My band's playing a concert. You want to come?
So, do you think, is it just her like, hey, do you want to come see my show, or just just hang out like friends do, or do you think it's like, hey, do you have a minute? I'm having a bit of a Doc Ock problem in my universe now.
I think it's more of a Doc Ock problem, but more it's like, you know what, I have someone to call on and I have a concert later tonight, so if I call Miles, we'll get this done faster type thing.
Yeah. Twice the number of Spidles means half the amount of time.
It's like, I gotta face Doc Ock, but I have my concert. Let's see if Miles is free. Maybe he can help me.
I would love, I know we're planning on talking about what we want in the sequel later, but I would love if the sequel just opened with them sitting on a rooftop just having hot dogs after fighting somebody, just hanging out.
I would love that. I would love cold open. We get a dramatic cold open, and then it cuts to Miles and Gwen just sitting on the rooftop chilling eating hot dogs. And Spider-Noir comes out of nowhere. I don't know why, I just think it'd be really funny if Spider-Noir just kind of came out of nowhere. Like, they're all just kind of meeting up in Gwen's universe. Spider-Noir is there. Like, they all just kind of pop up. I'd love that.
It's her week to host.
Yeah. It's actually been a year or two.
Yeah.
And so, it's like, they do this every anniversary they go to a different person's verse. I love the speaking of Gwen's voice, I love the quick cut of, you got a minute? And then it cuts to the credits. First it cuts to black, and you start hearing the first credits song playing, which is Elevate by DJ Khaled and a few other people who I did not have time to write down their names. Apologies. But that song sort of starts playing, And then my favorite thing is we get to actually see as if someone is spray painting Miles' Spider-Man logo on the screen.
I like to think that's him spray painting the logo onto his suit.
I like that idea. Mm-hmm.
Back in the Spider Cave. But yeah, that is a great way to like show the logo at the end of the movie.
I agree. I think it's a fantastic way. I think it's very cool and a lot more interesting than what most movies tend to do, which is just show the thing.
Yeah.
I think this is a lot more fun. Because I also like to imagine that, like, maybe instead of Miles spraying it on his suit, I like to imagine it's him tagging some random part of the city with his Spider-Man logo.
This is Spider-Man's territory now.
Like, it's somewhere really silly and dumb, too. Like...
Yeah. That clearly he's the only one that could have done it.
I just think that's funny. Do we want to talk about the visuals of the end credits?
Yeah, I think that covered everything I had for the actual movie part of the movie.
Same here. So let's talk about these end credit visuals.
I really like these stylized like end credits.
I like how movies nowadays... It was interesting because it used to be, I forget when this happened, but it used to be like movies would do their very visually interesting credits in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
It was very cool. And then they somehow at some point in time shifted to the end. And I've always been kind of a sucker for these because especially in animated movies, I always think it's a fun way to get a different animation style in and either just be goofy, do jokes, or just kind of recap the story and do fun scenes in a different visual way.
Yeah.
I really like these just because it feels like, you know what, we're just going to have a bunch of fun with these character models we had.
Yeah, and so this was actually a different company that did this than the main animation of the video. This wasn't the like normal animators.
Oh, okay.
But they did actually pull like from scenes from the movie and like were able to extrapolate them. Like they essentially took stills from the movies and were able to extrapolate the characters that way. I think they were given they were able to like have the 3D spaces so they could rotate the camera around, and that's how we get the really cool bits. But the running bits of the characters are pulled from the running into the collider fight.
Okay.
And I don't like, not all of the shots were pulled from the movie, but a good...
Yeah, a majority of them were.
I don't even know if it was a majority because we get into some pretty wacky stuff later. I think it might just be this opening.
This is true.
This opening bit here, and like some of the swinging stuff were pulled from stills in the movies.
Yeah, this is definitely some of the more normal visuals some of the more normal visuals that happen in the end credits. So I could see them pulling this from the movie.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the later credits when we get to them, because there is some fun stuff in there.
But that's all I have for the bit of the credits.
Yeah, that's all I have for this opening section of the credits as well.
Well, thank you for joining us today. Tune in next time to continue watching the credits. These will be, shorter minutes because there's not much happening in them. But we'll we'll pull out some fun stuff from what we can.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.